Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to CBS's Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Now, just like my previous videos, I'm going to be doing a review and recap on the most recent episode of Big Brother, and then I'm going to give a hand signal going into live feed updates. Even though there's not a ton of live feed updates, I do have spoilers on who won HOH and have-nots and possible targets for the week. So if you don't want to be spoiled and want to save that for this Sunday's episode, then be my guest. But let's move on to where last episode left off, and that was the veto not being used by Tyler, and Da'Vonne and Kevin are still up on the block. And Da'Vonne is tired of all the fakeness in the house. I totally understand it. She feels like she's not herself anymore. And then we have Memphis talking to Kevin and basically just telling Kevin he's safe. So Kevin feels really good about himself and his position in the house, that he's going to make it past this eviction. Now, we're still trying to figure out who the phantom voter is. Now, Kevin brings it up that, hey, what if it is the possibility that Nicole is lying to you instead of David? And Da'Vonne is still holding very firm that Nicole voted to keep Ian in the game, but she's gonna ask her one more time. So she asks her again, and again Nicole lied to her. I think this is poor jury management. I think Nicole, no matter what, is not going to get Da'Vonne's vote because of everything that happened throughout this week. And I think just the multitude of lying and the building of that lie, that if Nicole gets to the end, I don't know who's going to really vote for her, but I feel as though that Da'Vonne is definitely not going to vote for her this time with everything that is going on between them and this past vote. Now, Memphis, we see making a ton of Final 3 deals. He makes one with Cody, Enzo, and himself called the Wise Guys 1.0. We have, then he's making a Wise Guys alliance. Again, this is Wise Guys 2.0 with Christmas, Enzo, and himself. And realistically, Enzo and Memphis are the final two. And I just thought this was really, really funny. Like, I got a good hearty chuckle out of this when Memphis said, oh, I want to go to the final two with Enzo because I feel like I could beat him. I highly doubt it. Enzo's so likable and he doesn't have any blood on his hands. You're rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, especially during your HOH reigns, and nobody really likes you. So it's just funny that he thinks he can beat Enzo in the final two. I don't know exactly who he can beat in the final two. Like, if it comes down to like Nicole and Memphis, I think it's like, please shoot me now. Christmas talks to David to shift his focus on targeting Danny and Nicole in case he gets any sort of power like the HOH. She does 90% of the talking, and David just is absorbing all of this. And I love it because that's exactly what you should do. You shouldn't be running your mouth as much when somebody is trying to tell you all that they're trying to tell you and give you all the information. So I feel as though that he's done this whole game, and I think it's sly, really genius move. So then we move on to the live vote. Da'Vonne has one of, if not the best eviction night speeches in BB history. Then we move on to Kevin, who also has a very poignant speech with good points. It just, when you're following Da'Vonne's speech, it just comes up just a tad bit shorter, just because, one, the timing is off because we're live, and Julie basically said, can you wrap it up, hurry up, like right when he was about to begin. And then the conviction and bravado that Da'Vonne was speaking with, and then we have Kevin. It comes down to a vote of 5-2, where Da'Vonne was sadly evicted from the Big Brother house. She got 2 votes for her to stay, and that was Danny and Nicole. I was kind of shocked by that, but I'm happy that she at least got some votes for her to stay. She's talking to Julie, and in the goodbye messages, Tyler pretty much unleashes the truth of the committee alliance, which Da'Vonne was like, yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, we all knew that there was an alliance, and we 3 were out of it. And then we move on to Nicole's goodbye message, and she lets out the beans or spills the tea that, hey, I was the one that voted to evict Ian. It wasn't David. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. And Da'Vonne was like, I gave her so many opportunities. I even told her that if she were the one to vote out Ian, just tell me and I could understand. She burned that vote. She instantly burned that vote. Again, I don't know who would be voting for Nicole at the end, but it's definitely not going to be Davon, I feel. I'm 95% sure that if that was the case, Davon will not give Nicole her vote. And then we move on to Julie revealing the neighbor twist, and it is revealed that Dr. Will is, in fact, the BB legend that is moved in next door to the house, and he's talking about how there is going to be prizes up for grabs instead of power. So you can go, whether it's in the HOH or the veto, you can go for prizes instead of power. So if you feel comfortable and you feel confident and you don't want to win anything, like put yourself in danger or maybe make yourself a target heading into what is going to be a triple eviction coming Thursday night, then you can go for prizes. Stack up some money, maybe get some cruises, maybe get some fitness and eating plans. Who knows what's going to be up for grabs, but you can go for that instead of the power and keep the blood off your hands for another week or so. And then we move on to Julie revealing this insane twist that there is going to be a triple eviction. You may have heard of a double eviction, but now we got 3 people. We got this thing locked up. We need to start pumping these players out of this house and get to moving on to getting this winner. I love that there's going to be a triple eviction because I know that this is going to be wall to wall just competitions in that episode. It's going to be eviction, HOH, veto, eviction, HOH, veto, eviction, and it's gonna be insane. I cannot wait for it. This thing is gonna have to be going like 100 miles an hour with no room to talk. Like, they give normally like a couple of minutes in between for commercials for people to talk about what they want to do, but this thing is just going to be like 0 to 100 real quick. I cannot wait. I'm already thinking about Thursday. I don't even want to know what's going to happen this week because I feel like it's going to be boring anyways. I'm just picturing what could happen in that triple eviction. But that is it for this episode. What did you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comments section below. What did you think about the eviction speeches? What are your thoughts about Davon officially being evicted from the Big Brother house? I'm personally very, very sad. This house is going to be super dull without her in it. But what do you think about it? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who do you want to win the next HOH for this upcoming week? Let me know that in the comment section below. Now I'm moving on to the live feed updates, and honestly, there's not a lot to be talking about with these live feed updates because it's only been one night and they didn't even show the HOH competition. So the feeds have been out for most of the night until they finally came back really, really late after the HOH competition. And the new HOH for this week is Cody. And we find out from whispers and talks about the competition, there's 2 people that won prizes, and I think it was like $5,000 each. So people are wondering who won the money, and Cody won HOH. We move on to the have-nots, and Cody said he's gonna pick Enzo because Enzo wants to be a have-not. Enzo has this idea that if he's a have-not, the have-not room is upstairs with the HOH room right next door. So it's easy for him to be popping out and back and forth between Cody's HOH room and the have-not room, which I think is pretty sly and sneaky. You just have to eat like steel grain oats for about a week. And Christmas will pick Kevin, where now everybody is feeling like they're safe and that Cody is going to put up David and Kevin up on the block. Either David or Kevin are probably going to be evicted because the whole thing is that no matter what, if both of them get put up on the block and one of them stays on the block, the rest of the committee are the rest of the votes. And so it doesn't really matter who's up on there unless they want to backdoor somebody after the veto competition, or if the committee actually wants to start taking out one person from their own alliance, knowing that they have the numbers still. But if the pattern of this season has anything to dictate the rest of this game, it's going to be a really boring week with Cody putting up both David and Kevin, and most likely Kevin is going to be the one evicted. There's a lot of game to be played. It just started. This week just started. The nominations haven't been done yet. It's going to be happening later today. I don't have hope that they're going to actually start going to be taking out one another or start the process of turning on each other just yet. I think they're going to want one more nice, easy vote, and then it's going to be a bloodbath come that triple eviction. I cannot wait. The idea and possibility of this week being so boring and so predictable that I am already looking forward to that triple eviction where 3 or 2 of the committee are going to be out one after another. I cannot wait. I'm hoping that's the case, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen. But that is it for these live feed updates. What do you think about Cody being the new HOH? Let me know that in the comment section below. Who do you think he's going to nominate? Do you think it's going to be David or Kevin? Or do you think there's a slight chance that they're going to start turning on each other, the committee turning on each other, starting with this vote? Let me know that in the comment section below. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more content in general. But until then, peace.